What's up guys, it's Josh back with another video, and today I wanted to show you guys the touch command. So as I stated in the intro of the video, I wanted to show you guys the touch command, and this is a very basic command for new users that are just getting into learning the Linux operating system as well as working with the command line. And it's very beneficial to know this command. That's why I wanted to create this video, because it allows you to create empty files in a given directory on your Linux file system. And as I stated, this command is included in all distributions of Linux. It's a built-in utility that's pre-installed on all of them. So let's go ahead and switch over to my terminal so we can walk through how to actually use the touch command. Okay, so I have my terminal open, and the first thing we want to do is look at the man page. That's one thing I recommend everybody do when you're learning a new command for the Linux command line, is to open up the man page, which is essentially the manual, and it shows you basically how to use the command. So let's type man and then touch and press enter. That'll open it up. As you can see, the name, and it says change file timestamps, and then there's a description down here. This kind of explains everything about it, but this is the synopsis. That's mainly what I want to show you guys. This is how you actually use the command, basically how you format it. You basically type touch and then the option and then whatever name or file that you want to specify. If you're like changing a file timestamp, then you want to specify that file, and then more information down in the description, as well as the options that you can use, and I'll go through a couple of them just to break it out so you guys can see how to actually use it. Now let's go down and quit the man page and hop right over to running the command. So the first thing I need to do is create a directory, and I'm gonna create it in my home directory. I'm gonna just call it touch. So you can name it whatever you want to, but I'm gonna call mine touch, and then let's cd to this directory right fast. Boom. And this is where we're gonna create our files or play around with the touch command here. So let's type touch and create a file, and this is the base way of running the file. And I'm gonna just name the file test 1.txt and press enter. And then if we ls this directory, which basically means list out the contents of this directory, we'll see that we have test.1.txt. So that's the first file we created, or that's the file we actually created. And let's say we want to see if something is in it, which I know nothing is in it, but I'm gonna type out cat and then test1.txt, and there's nothing in that file. So that's what the touch command does. It just basically generates a empty file. Now you can do whatever you want with this file once it's generated. I just wanted to show you guys that that's a simple way of creating a file on your Linux operating system. Now let me show you something that's super cool with the touch command, which is creating multiple files using the touch command. So we already have test1, so let's do test2.txt, and then let's do test3.txt, and then let's also do test4.txt. and I actually don't have to put the extension on it. I'm only doing it just because I'm used to typing that, but I'm gonna create those three files. This is basically how you create multiple files at once. So you just type touch and then you name each one of the files out with a space in between each name and press enter. Boom. Now let's ls this directory again. As you can see, we have 4 files total now. We created those 3 extra files within the directory. Now in order to show you the first option, I need to use another command to actually show you a little bit more information about these files, and that's basically changing the access time of this file. So let's type the stat command. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the stat command, but it's a very simple command. Let's go test.1 and let's look at the stats of this actual file. And what we're looking for is the access time right here. And the option I wanted to show you guys will actually update this time. As you can see, it's 8:26:02 currently was when this file actually was created, or the birth of that file. Now let's run it with that A file. Now that we have the times, let's go down and change the time of that file by just running touch again. So let's type touch and then -A, which is that option we want to use for it. And then we're going to run it against the test1, and I'm going to tab it out and press enter. Boom. And the way we check it is just going back to that stat command and look at it. And we're going to compare the two times, the access time. So if we look at it, 8:30 now, that's when it was created, or that's the current time. And then this is the time it was actually created. So 2026 or 8/26 was when the actual file was created. And then right now is 8:30. That's when we actually changed the file. Okay, so now that we changed that access time, let's say we want to change the modification time. So the last time this file was actually modified, there's another option for that, and that's -M. So basically, you know, M for modification time. So let's type the same command. Actually, I'm gonna just up arrow and change that to M, and we can see what it is from right here. So 8:25, boom, and then 8:25 is the exact same number as far as the modified date. So let's press enter, and then let's run the stat command again, and we can see that it has been updated. And as you can see, 8:33, so 3 minutes later from me actually changing the access time, you know, so that gives you some idea of how it actually works. And this was the original time, which was 8:25, and like I said, 8:33 is the new modification time. Now there's another option that I want to show you guys. It's -or, and it basically means to reference another file. So let's say you have some access and modification times that you want to copy or reference to another file. Then you can use the -or option, and it'll basically change the access and modification files to the same ones of the one that you're referencing. So just to show you guys what I mean, let's see, the original files that we created, or the second set of files that we created, let's look at test2, and you know, using the stat command, so we can look at the modification times and the access times. So as you guys remember, we modified the access and modification times for test1. So in order to reference test2, we have to use the -or. So we have to write touch, and then the file that we want to change, which is that test1.txt, and the one we want to reference. So basically -or, and then the reference file, which is test2, which will be this access date and the access modification date of this file, which is, you know, test2.txt. We want to grab that and apply it to test1. So just make sure you put it in right. You have to put the file that you want to change and then the file you want to reference after the -or option. And let's press enter. Boom, we didn't get any errors. So let's go down and stat now the test.1.txt file, and you should see the exact same date and times, access date and times of the test2, which was originally created at 8:27. So you'll see that exact same date and time and everything, you know, as far as the access and modification date for test1 now. So it kind of looks as though all these files were created at the exact same time, which is super cool. So let me show you something else that's super cool. You can actually modify the timestamps manually, and it's a specific format that you have to put it in. It's not that difficult to actually follow. It's basically year, month, day, hour, minutes, and then seconds. So you just have to follow that format. It's similar to this. So if you run the stat command, you won't steer wrong, you know, from actually modifying it. But that's basically the command you want to do, or the format that you want to do, but don't put the dashes in there. So I'm gonna show you guys right fast, but it's actually the T option. So let's modify this same command, which is the test1.txt, and then we use the -T option, and then we can specify that full date and time, you know, in this format, in the format that I specified. So let's say we want to change it to 2019 was when this actual file was accessed and modified, and then let's say June 04, and now let's put the time, and you have to use the 24-hour format in order for it to pick up. So 1700, that's 5 o'clock, so let's go 1723. And then the seconds, you could just put whatever within 60 seconds, and then let's specify the actual file. So let's go test test.1.txt and press enter. Boom, we didn't get any errors, so that means we typed everything in correctly. Now let's run a stat command again against test1.txt. Press enter, and as you can see, it changed the access and modification date to show 2019 June 4th, and then at 17:23 hours and 23 seconds. So that's specifically what we put in that format. So like I said, all you have to do is follow this format in order to modify the timestamps. Just don't put any dashes in between it or the colon, and then you have to put a period in front of the seconds, and then you're good to go. And as you can see, it did it for both the access and modification times. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. As you can see, the touch command isn't that difficult of a command to understand and use, and hopefully these examples get you started learning how to use the touch command. And also, if you have any questions, hit me up down in the comments below, and of course, keep it techie.